25. Okay. Forgot to turn that back on. So this is 25. How do you get what? Now, you square root. Okay, Sydney? The left side is 5, and the right side would be the absolute value of x. But x is a positive number, so I don't need that. Because we're in geometry class, so we just take the positive one and we're done. Now, some of you want to, it's wrong, you want to say that if 3 squared plus 4 squared is x squared, then 3 plus 4 equals x. Well, x would be 7. What's nice about math is that these numbers would have to be the same. So one of them's right and one of them's wrong. I know that this is right. So that can't be. So be careful with that. Don't start square rooting the sides. You can't do that. You can square the whole side, but not the individual ones. Now this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Tomorrow we'll talk more about special triangles where the sides are all whole numbers. Doesn't happen very often. Okay, like I know what the answer to this one is. It's going to be 12. Because, Cole, can you write the equation for me? 5 squared. No, careful. It's leg squared plus leg squared. X squared equals 13 squared. So 5 squared is 25. TJ, do you know what 13 squared is? 169. Good call. So x squared equals, Lindsay, what's 169 minus 25? 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. Can we do that one? If in your homework it says x equals, you can use a calculator, but it's going to work out exactly. If they have the little squiggly lines, approximately equal to, then it's not going to work out exactly. Anybody know the square root of 144? Sydney? 12. And these are centimeters. Okay, is that hard? Well, you guys, be careful. You do leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared. Okay, Zach? Now this one's a little different. I have a circle here. We are going to do circles. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I want to find this length. I'm going to create a right triangle. This is the x distance. What's the x coordinate here? No. X is 6. So what's this length? That's 8. This is measured of 6 units from the origin on the x. The 8 is 8 units from the origin on the y's. So I get 6 squared plus 8 squared equals r squared. I want the radius of the circle. So 36 plus 8 squared is 64 equals r squared. What's r squared equal to? 100. And then we square root, and they're all done the same way. R equals 10. Again, I knew what that was. It's a 6, 8, 10 triangle. Yeah. This is review. Pardon? Well, later on in upper level math classes, you'll be doing a lot more with this. Maybe even this year. I don't know. Okay. Well, the circle gives you the ordered pairs. Now, the next one, the diagonal of a square measures 50 inches. So this is 50 inches. I want to find the area of the square. How do you find the area of the square? Yeah, but what's true about the base and height? What's true about the base and height? They're the same. What do you want to call the base and height then? A and B. No, they're the same numbers. X. Because it's a square. X times x. So I want to find area is equal to x squared. Well, I got to find out what x is now. So it's a two-step problem. Zach, can you give me the formula to find x? Like squared plus like squared is 50 squared. So how many x squareds do we have? 2. So you get 2x squared. Now 50 squared is 50 times 50. So what's 5 times 5? Because I can do that. It's 25. And how many zeros? 2. And then we're going to divide by 2. And it says x squared is half of that. It's half of 2,500. 1250. And I could find x. What's x? Didn't ask me that. You square root and you square root. I don't know how big it is. It's the square root of 1250. I don't care. You're right. I don't know and I don't care. Because the area is equal to x squared. So I'm going to take the square root of 1250 times the square root of 1250. What happens to the two square roots? They go away. So the area is equal to 1250 meters squared or whatever. Well, I knew it was x squared. X squared was 1250. If I was thinking, I could see that without having to square root. Is that one okay? Here's the same kind of problem, a little bit differently. Here, the area is equal to 81 square centimeters. And I want the length of the diagonal. So I'm going to call that D. Well, I need to know these sides. What do you want to call them? X. Well, the area of a square is x squared. These are the same areas. If the area is 81 and the area is x squared, then 81 has to equal x squared. Then what's x equal to? 9. You'll find some older problems, some review problems on the worksheet, which is good because we're getting ready for a semester final. Okay, now to find D, I'm going to have to do x squared plus x squared equals D squared. Well, I know what x is. It's 9. 9 squared plus 9 squared equals D squared. And you're going to want a calculator. Oh, I forgot to get rid of that. Yeah, you could do it by hand, or you could get your calculator out, and you could do it here. I want to do 9 squared plus 9 squared. So it's 9 or squared. That's log. Squared plus 9 squared. So I don't have to think 162, and then I want to square root it. So how do I square root? I go second, I go square root, and then I pick up the answer, which is the second and the answer key. If you have an 83 or 84. And it substitutes it right in there. I don't have to deal with it. And there it is. Now, I want to see you go to 3 places. Just get you in the habit of 3 places. 12.727. So D is up. Now, if you see the approximately, that means you're going to use your calculator. You may have to use your calculator anyway, but you're going to get an approximate answer. Okay, I think there's one last problem. It's because it doesn't end. It's irrational. It doesn't end. It can't. Because an irrational number can't be written as a fraction. So you can't do it. Oh. Okay, here's a baseball field. Any baseball players here? Oh, yeah, quite a few. And you guys might already know the distance from home plate to second base. I don't know. You know that the distance from home plate to first is 90 feet. Yeah, I think you knew that. Then the distance from first to second is also 90. So I have a nice little triangle here. And I can pull that out. And this is 90. This is 90. And the question is, what's that length?
Wait, isn't like 90 also equal with this?
Might be. Might be. Well, you gotta be careful with pictures. So d squared equals 90 squared plus 90 squared. Well, I'm just gonna let the calculator do the work because I don't know what it is. Okay, so it's gonna be 90 squared. So 90 squared plus 90 squared, 1620. It's all, yeah, it's not quite the same problem, but well, let's square root it. Second square root, second answer. There you go. It's the same problem. Okay, does that make sense? If this is 90, this is 90, that's 127. About, it's reasonable. And that's all we're doing today. Now, you do have some 3D pictures on here. And what I did, I did mine on the iPad, and I actually pulled the triangles out of there. Well, oh, I'm going to run down and get the rest of these. I forgot about that. Okay. And then on the last page, well, let me get you guys going on this first. I have to run down and get the copies. Sorry. So give me a second.